Shalom, shalom. On the first off, give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash, double honor to our apostles and elders and great millstone towards the truth and move well over the flock. Peace and mercy to all you Akim that's living in the truth and sincerity. All right, coming at you with a quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. It's the brother Marikab. And I just want to just briefly do a lesson, pertaining to, I might title it, studying is necessary to the faith, because truly it is. It's essential. It's a must. It's a necessity. What Jake failed to realize, when you come into this thing, you're making a huge transformation, and what it is you're going through a detox. Spiritually, you're going through a detox of the world. The folly that you was, drunken off of in the world, and you're going through the process of being purified. So during that process, it's a process of washing of the word, which is where studying actually comes into play. Because, matter of fact, I'm going to bring up this precept real quick just to pop it off properly. Bear with me for a second. Slakia. So this is Slakia. Bear with me. This is 2 Timothy 2:15. And it reads, "Study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." It's a study to show thyself approved, all right, unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Studying is actually, showing the Lord how dedicated and devoted you are to Him and His ministry. Okay? How serious you are about this truth. Okay? And the reason why I said it's, essential, because for one, like the scriptures say in Ephesians, I believe 6:11, it says, "Put on the whole armor that ye may be able to fight off the wiles of the devil." When you go into that word wiles, we know it's Satan's trickery. Okay? And when it speaks a reference about putting on the whole armor, the armor that it's actually speaking about is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, because it armors you up. It builds up a spiritual armor so that you can actually, spiritually be equipped with the survival wisdom to survive. Because Satan is going to come with his different trickery. That may consist of, even down to what we were just dealing with this whole, jab situation. A lot of people was vulnerable to that. They didn't have any armory on. So with that being said, being that they didn't, what happened? They fell victim to it. They was misled by, the hirelings and, certain false prophets that was giving them a false doctrine. So that's another reason why it's essential to study, because you arming yourself up on that aspect of false prophets. One thing, I highly salute apostles and elders down about is the fact that when you come into this thing, they always promote to do your own studying. Don't be just a parrot. When you come into this thing, you want to actually look things up and, verify the knowledge and wisdom pertaining to the scriptures, okay, and even down to history, the cycle of history, which is essential, okay. But when you actually do that, it's actually a faith booster, because you seeing it for yourself, okay, and then you get a better understanding, of who we dealing with, which is our enemies, because the scriptures tell you, that's a part of the armor. Trust not. I think it's Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach. trust not that 12 and 10. Trust not thy enemy. All right. So it's iron rusted, so it's his wickedness. Roughly paraphrasing. So if Jake knew that the ones that was in the world, then they wouldn't have got caught up with Satan's trickery. Like it says in 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, "Least Satan shall get advantage over us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Okay, so that's partially the reason why studying is actually really essential, because what you feel what Jake has to realize, is that, for one, when you come into this thing, you're going to be dealing with different forms of temptation, different forms of Satan's trickery, because the whole thing about it is, you got even down with this clown, Vocab Malone. Obviously, he's set up to derail those that is trying to wake up to their heritage. But you got fools like that has, they're coming with a Christianity doctrine. So that's another reason why it's essential to actually study, because like the scriptures say, I believe in 1 Thessalonians, it says to prove all things through the scriptures. So you study and you actually seeing like, oh no, they trying to come with the fact that it's the topic about the Israelite foreigners and how everybody could be saved. But if you actually studying the scriptures, you get into the cycle of history, then you actually seeing for yourself, okay, the whole purpose of Apostle Paul and the apostles in general, which apostle means sent away. Why was they sent out? To the Israelite foreigners. You see that where the transition happened, where our people got Hellenized, and why they was considered Gentiles, why they was considered Greeks and Romans. Okay, but if you're not studying, then you will be vulnerable to these different trickery that Satan is going to push out on the board. So that's why it's also essential to do so. So and studying may consist of you reading as much as you can. The Lord has blessed us with some pure leaders, okay, starting with Apostle Tahar and the other elder apostles down and elders, that brothers had laid out the blueprint. You have numerous amount of lessons throughout the web that it's edifying. If you can't read as often as you want, because you may be balancing out a lot, then you watch as much videos as you can and take notes. Take notes, okay? But that's a part of the process of studying, okay? Because one thing about love, okay, like the Lord said, if you love me, keep my commandments, all right? But that's another aspect as well that you need to be armored up as, because you got some people that believe that you're actually saved. You're saved by the law, when the scriptures actually verify that we're not saved by the law. Okay, we're actually saved by faith. But that's another aspect of why studying is essential, because these are things that you will actually discover, which will keep you strong, which will keep you solid, which will actually have you unbreakable due to your foundation, which is Yahweh Shah. And one thing about love, when you really love somebody or you really love something, you really be in it, and that's the part of studying. Showing the Lord that you really, into Him, into this truth, into serving our power with sincerity. Okay, we're sincere. That's showing sincerity. Okay, and I want to bring out this other precept real quick. Salakia, bear with me real quick. Yeah, because that's the thing that Jake has to go through that process of nurturing. Studying is the re-nurturing process that is essential, man. Because you're coming out the world, and when you coming out the world, you got many different philosophies that you thought was right, And, you know, you're going to have to go through, you know, rinsing them out of you. You know what I mean? That's why we got to go through that trial. That's why we got to get, that's what Scripture says, gold is tried through the fire, so it's acceptable men through the furnace of adversity. You know, you got to build it up. You know, got to filter that out. Okay? But this is Proverbs 15 and 28. The heart of the righteous study to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evilness. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the Scripture said, the mouth of the righteous study. Okay? You know, you in the right spirit, you're going to study. You know, like the Scripture, study to show thyself approved unto Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. You know, you're going to want to prove yourself. Okay? And the Scripture also says too, you know, when you step into this ministry, you got to understand, especially when you're on the highways and byways, you have to be equipped with the answers, man. You know, because like the Scripture says, you know, I think it's in John, you know, the Lord give us the unction to know all things. You know, the process of studying and conditioning yourself is how you're gonna be able to do so. And then you on the highways and byways, you got to realize that, you know, like the Scriptures say, it's our duty to be defenders of the gospel, okay? And we got to mark those that make a division to the sound doctrine, the purity of the Scriptures. So the only way that you're going to be qualified to be able to do these things is if you're studying, if you're equipped with the spirit of Yahweh Shah, all right? The spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, and you actually equipped it with the knowledge and wisdom and understanding of Yahweh Shah, all right? That were Krakadash. But the whole, how you actually get that and nurture it is by studying, praying, fasting, okay? Which is essential, man, you know? Because like the Scriptures say, you know, there's going to be times where you basically got to know, you have to have the answer. You have to have an answer for everything. I believe it's spoken about in 1 Peter. You know, you got to have an answer for everything, you know? Where it's to the point where you're with the studying, you know, like the Scripture said, the gainsayers is not going to be able to resist, you know. They're not going to be able to come against the doctrine, you know, like the Scriptures also say, roughly paraphrase the Scriptures, but, you know, it talks about this word cutting like a two-edged sword, you know. It's no way getting around it, you know. They can do nothing but for the truth, as the Scriptures say, you know. And, you know, that's basically it. I don't want to make this lesson too long, but, you know, it's very important for us to eat that whole roll, man. It's important for us to eat the whole roll like the Scripture says, all right? You know, regardless whether you are a prophet, okay? You know, you got to understand what it is, because the Lord is teaching us how to conduct ourselves, you know? We got to examine ourselves. You know, the Scriptures is telling us that, you know? Like, if you just a helper, if you just a man of faith, you want to be able to study to show yourself approved still. You want to be put on the whole armor so that you're not vulnerable to Satan's trickery. You know what I mean? You can't get drunken off of different philosophies. You know what I mean? You'll be sober, okay, and occupied in the prophecies. You know, understanding, you know, how this thing works. You know, actually seeking to please the Lord. You know, because that's a part of studying. You know, the Lord said, roughly paraphrasing Baruch, being that ye went off, it's up to us to seek him 10 times more. You know, the Lord give you the spirit to understand his truth. Because you got to understand, you know, not everybody get it. All right, so the Lord specifically chose you and dealing with you, then, you know, hey, man, the least you could do is seek the Lord 10 times, man. Show some gratitude, you know. Well, Lord willing was edifying. You know, and I just want to close out by giving all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Makakadash. Double honors our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth, who are the true teachers of Israel, and who rule well over the flock. Peace and mercy to all you Akim that's living in this truth and sincerity. Lord will, until the next time, Shalom.